Your knowledge of contract language is imperative.
You must know what a violation looks like if you wish to be active in its cessation.
It is important to understand that being active and knowledgeable affects your overall bargaining strength.
Together, we can forge a more militant NALC.
Good morning and welcome back to Parcels of Knowledge, that podcast dedicated to delivering knowledge to the settled letter carrier with your host, the Roseville Wrecking Ball. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm sick today, and I have a feeling, considering it's been taking like 10 days for everyone around me, my voice is just going to continue to get worse. And while I'm in this stage, I figure, okay, well, maybe I won't give up on making podcasts, but maybe I will do some things like interviews. So today's going to be a short interview, but it's going to be an important one because this information I think you want to do, and it's time sensitive. So let's get going because I think this is a very good idea. The treat that I'm going to give you is an interview with none other than David Grosskopf. He's got some very good ideas, and he's a trailblazer. I expect good things out of him. I think he's at the end of his career, and I don't think he should be. Just keep rolling on, David. We're going to need people like you forever. But either way, hopefully you inspire people to be like yourself, because this guy, he's a rolling stone. I don't know anyone that's like him. But without further ado, here's the interview. I'll see you on the other side.
Right, I'm here on the other side here, and I'm here with a good friend of mine. We don't know each other too much, but this is a really great guy that you guys probably already know. And would you like to introduce yourself, David?
Yeah, sure, Josh. My name is Dave Grosskopf. I'm the president of Branch 3, Buffalo, Western New York. I'm also second in command of the reform movement that some of you might have heard of called the Concerned Letter Carriers, and a candidate in the upcoming 2026 national election in the NALC. I'm running for trustee.
We're most definitely going to have a Q&A for you for that trustee position if you're on board with that.
Yes,
But
sir.
but today we're here to talk about something I thought was very cool. I noticed it a few days ago when David made a post. I'd like him to explain it to all of us, so maybe we can do the same. It's a time-sensitive thing, possibly. So we're going to start off the top. David, what did you just recently do that I think is really cool? And can you explain the importance of it?
Yeah. The APWU launched a national campaign to mobilize support for the Postal Service as a public institution and to help the public become aware of the threats that we're constantly facing in regards to privatization. So the idea they had to build that public support for the Postal Service, again, in the face of this billionaire-led efforts to privatize, what I consider to be a national treasure. The Postal Service has been around, longer than the country has existed. They came up with a pretty good idea, which was seeking proclamations from local or state or even, the federal government. Again, showing the support in different states, different cities for the 200th anniversary, which just happened over the summer, of the United States Postal Service. And if you go to apwu.org, they have a thing on there, and it's listed as APWU launches national campaign to celebrate USPS 250th anniversary locally. So I got on there, and it walks you through a step-by-step process of not only what that proclamation should say, and gives you the basics on how to go about applying for that. The first one that I got here was from the mayor of Buffalo. So I contacted, the appropriate officials through the mayor's office, and they've issued that proclamation. I've also done with the county that I live in, and I've also done with the state that I've lived in, and I'm still waiting for those other two to come back.
So when you do this process, Do you work with the local postmaster for the communication with the office of the city, or do you
Nope.
do that as a lone representative of the union?
Yep, I do that as the lone representative of the union. The APWU wanted their locals and their memberships to do that, and they also put out the call, for other sister unions, to collaborate with local and state bodies, including, the city councils, like I said, county commissions, mayoral offices, state legislators, to pass proclamations recognizing the milestone, and to get the support for the public postal service. I talk about this a lot, Joshua. You may know, you may not know, I'm the only branch president in the country to successfully stop a plant consolidation and an S&DC.
You're a
And
hero. You're a hero for that.
thank you, thank you. And the only reason I believe I was able to do that is because of the ties that Branch 3 Buffalo Western New York has in the community at all levels, at the city level, at the state level, and at the national level. That's why we're able to do that. This is a good way for branches, not only to be introduced to those officials, but to have conversations with them and garner support, for the things that we may need coming down the road here in any type of a political fight.
Yeah, to be honest, it seems like you should be an honorary wrecking ball over here. But yeah, but does this so what this process sounds to me is very similar to what we do every year at Roseville for food drive. Is that something you guys do over there too? Like get the city to recognize it officially? Because we get what it looks like is exactly what you got, but it
Yep.
recognized the food drive.
Yep, we have the proclamation, again from the city of Buffalo for the Stamp Out Hunger food drive and surrounding suburbs. We do the exact same thing, and that's all this is, Josh. Just like you said, instead of talking about the food drive, we're talking about the 250th anniversary of the United States Postal Service and why there needs to be a postal service for another 250 years.
All right, you hear that, branch presidents? It's time to step up and save the Postal Service's reputation with the community. Let's make sure that the community views us as their continues to view us as the number one trusted government agency employees. And I think this is really cool and this is really important. Now, one more thing before I let you go, David. Can you talk about whether or not it's too late at this point in the time in the year? Do you think that would affect anybody's request for the proclamation?
No, I don't think so. Again, this is to celebrate July 26, 1775 is when um, the Second Continental Congress appointed Ben Franklin as the first Postmaster General. So that's the anniversary. And the idea here, I believe, although I can't obviously speak on the APWU's behalf because I'm not part of them, but I believe the idea here is to get as many municipalities as we can on record in support of the Postal Service. And like I said, that's a continuing effort. That never stops. And for those folks that may be coming in late into the game here in November, December, again, it's going to vary state by state. But for example, here in Western New York, it took the city of Buffalo about a month to get me that proclamation. Erie County, which is the county that Buffalo is in, they just contacted me. They're getting that to me. And I haven't heard back yet from the state of New York, but it's a state like other states. It's probably going to run a little bit longer of a period than the county or the city. So my suggestion is don't lock yourself out, for example, December 31st of 2025. Try to get those things in right now. And if you get them back after the fact, that's okay. You're still on record in the year, 2025, garnering that public support for the postal system for our hopefully unnecessary fight against privatization in the future.
And then you know what? I got one more question. I lied. I thought that was the last one, but I do. I thought something came up, and I was thinking. There's been times where I tried to contact the mayoral office, and I've had a
Yep.
little bit of difficulty getting in contact because maybe their secretary might not transfer the information correctly, or maybe they're not so interested. Do you have any advice on how to overcome that type of barrier?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, content would, depending on again what your city calls it. Like, you in Buffalo, if I was going to be ignored, like you said, by the mayor and or their staff, go to the council members on that board. There'll be somebody that's receptive to that, that will, understand what this is and allow that council person to put pressure on the mayor's office or the mayor's secretary in your case that may not be relaying that information.
You know,
There's Go ahead.
that's a really good idea because, to be honest, I don't know if it works like this everywhere, but man, every single route that has a council member on the route, we are
Yes.
100% aware and friends with that person. So,
In our fight for our S&DC, that's exactly what happened. Not only did we have the support of the Buffalo Mayor's office, we had the council person where that plant was located, there on that picket line with us. So, those are very important relationships to make as branches and branch presidents. I know we focus at the federal level a lot, right, because of Congress, and that can affect us, but don't underestimate the power of your state officials and or your local officials when we're in a fight like this, because we're looking for numbers, we're looking for a groundswell, and a good way to get that is to start in that community, and that community has your back. That's exactly what happened here in Western New York.
all right. Thanks for all this wonderful information. Hopefully, people will act on this because I think it's a great idea. Sorry it was short notice. Here we are. I called him up. He's really good at this. He's like good at being on the spot because I gave him a couple of minutes notice and he says, "Yeah, let's start this right now." So that David, he's something different. He's a new breed of union president, and apparently it's working out for him because he blocked that SNDC, and I think you are perfect to be an example for everyone to follow. Now, is there anything you'd like to add before I let you go?
No, just I appreciate, Josh, you reaching out to me and giving the opportunity to come on the show. And one of the things that I always say, being a branch president, labor is the community is labor. As a branch president and as local leaders, we need to strive and work very hard to get out there in our community. And there's a number of ways to do that. You probably have a local Labor Day parade. You have cultural parades in your city. We do a thing, we're in classrooms with carriers, touch a truck events. We show up with those postal vehicles so the little kids not only can see the policemen and the firemen, they get to see the letter carrier also. And a lot of times, the carrier's customers show up to these touch a truck events. We do a thing called the Corporate Challenge. It's a road race, and believe it or not, my team here in Buffalo, we always rank right at the top in the Buffalo Corporate Challenge every year. So we make sure we're out there, we're visible in that community, because we know if that fight ever comes again, to try to close a plant, consolidate a plant, get an S&DC, privatize the Postal Service, we know we can go to the community will respond, and the community will help. So
Wait a
that's what
second.
we've.
You've blown
Yep.
my mind here, man. You guys race postal vehicles? Is that what you just said?
No, not race postal vehicles.
You said a
It's
road
a
race, right?
it's a road race as far as runners,
Oh,
like
okay.
like like a
Okay.
marathon or something like that. As there's a team with the corporate challenges, you can team up, and there can be different size teams. We usually do the 5-man team, so 5 of my carriers in the branch, they're runners in general. That's what they do outside of work as a hobby. Those guys squad up, and we get branch shirts for them. So when they're running in that race, they know the NALC's in that race. And those guys do an incredible job, and girls do an incredible job every year, putting us on the map that, we're some of the fastest feet in Buffalo, New York.
Now, you also mentioned the touch a truck, and that kind of blew my mind too, because I never knew, because over here in Michigan, they have never, I've never once, maybe it has happened, but I've never once heard of us being part of those type of events. I've only seen firefighters and police
Right.
or whatever. How do you initiate something like that?
Again, who's ever holding that touch a truck event, whether it's, the local municipality, it might be, the city of Roseville might have a touch a truck event, right? If I was the president of Roseville, I would contact, the city and say, hey, I hear you're having a touch a truck event with, public servants. I work for the Postal Service. I'm a letter carrier. If I can get that cleared through my postmaster to bring over, a ProMaster, a Metris, an LLV, whatever the deal is, can we participate in your event? I've never had anybody tell me no, Josh.
Wow, that's a really good idea. You just surprising me with a lot more than I even anticipated for this interview. But thank you very much for your time this morning, and hopefully you have a good day today out there.
You too, my brother. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
All right, so there you have it. Take David's example. Let's all become pillars of our community again, because we all know with the way things are going, we are really going to need the public on our side. And I don't think that's an unrealistic thing to achieve. But hopefully you learned something valuable today. And as always, have a good day.
Shout out to the Roseville Wrecking Ball. He is an Article 8 scholar, and thank God. We need Article 8 scholars right now. The Grievous Genius and the Roseville Wrecking Ball doing amazing work.
Brothers and sisters, this guy is good, man. He's fucking good.
And my boy Joshua, he killed it. Man, he's lockstep right now. He's killing it.